Yes, sir. What's happening, G's? LTA, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the LTA trading warm-up. Official New York live streams. I got my gang with me. We are LTA. We're gonna take over. We're gonna take over the game. Yes? No intro needed anymore. Let's get the party started. Woo! Good to see you, Brad. Good to see you, Andre. Good to see you, Jack here in Russia. Elam Trades. Green Reaper. Mr. Mike Nabosha. Braden, my friend, what's up? Good to see you. Yes, sir. Forex handler. Free liquidity. Desmond, good to see you, my friend. Let's go. All right. Hope you guys are having a good day here. We have around 10 minutes left, so I'm gonna keep it a bit short. At least the introduction here. I got my guys with me in the chat. Also my guys with me in the trading floor. Obviously, the guys have been absolutely killing it. We're on the same page. We're looking at the exact same setups I'm going to talk about today. Yesterday we traded. What did we trade yesterday? We traded the Euro USD. Yeah, it was a mess, but the trade played out perfectly eventually. It took some time here, but we saw that nice sell-off, nice drop. We were bearish biased for a reason. Price has been coming down. Euro was weak, dollar was strong. That is the end of story. That's how we traded yesterday on stream. Now today, we are going to have the PPI. We're going to talk about that in a second here because that's going to be in 10 minutes. I want to see how price responds to that. I want to see what the dollar is doing when talking. Just simply, you know, it's a day before the CPI release. I want to see how the dollar responds to the PPI. I think the PPI is highly underrated. We're going to find out. We're going to find out if we're going to see a move. Yes or no. The most important part is the dollar. Where are we at? Are we going to continue right now towards the upside? If that's the case here, we're going to have a couple of really, to be honest, really clean setups once again, to be honest with you. So that's something that we have to talk about here. Other thing that you need to understand is that if you haven't downloaded the trading war map, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. Because this is what we're doing on stream. We're literally going through the war map. We are showing you step by step how to utilize the war map in your day-to-day trading here. Yes, we're trading live. Yes, we're taking trades. I understand that we have to lead by example. You know, it's always better to show exactly what we're doing here in real time, so you can actually see it with your own eyes here. However, I want you to learn. I want you to really start diving deeper into the war map. We have built this book for a reason. It took a year to build. Who takes a year off to build a book or to write a book with their team here? The amount of effort that has been put into it is unbelievable. Anyways, you can download it for free, get the war map, get to work, and then we can get started with the streams as always here. Okay? Link in bio, link in bio. 8:30 we're gonna have the news. Obviously we're not gonna trade the news. We're gonna trade the aftermath of the news if a really nice and clean setup occurs here. Okay, that's it. We're gonna go over it right now here. What are the setups here? Are we gonna trade gold today? That's the question. Well, again, that all depends on how the dollar reacts to the news, to be honest with you, because we want to see a little bit of a weaker dollar. Yes, gold came down yesterday, right? That's the reason why we decided to go for the currencies instead. We took a Euro USD short setup instead of a gold long. Why? Because of the dollar. The dollar was predominantly strong. The dollar broke out towards the upside here. We were more bullish biased on the dollar. This caused gold to drop a little bit, but not enough to actually break structure. So gold by default is just incredibly strong. I think shorting is extremely risky. I can guarantee you, even when the dollar is pushing up here, yeah, gold is coming down a little bit, but it's strong. It's strong. It's strong. The trend is up. The trend is bullish. There is no reason for me to start trying to predict the top here and try to short gold, to be real honest with you. So for now, it's still, to me, longs or nothing. Matter of fact, when we talk about gold here, a lot of people are right now going to short it. I can guarantee you. A lot of guys right now are going to short gold here. Why? Because they see the top, they see the breakdown. That's their first real retracement. We have been pulling back towards that high. I can guarantee you a lot of shorters are going to come in right now at the moment. If the dollar remains weak, I will not be surprised if this gets taken out, to be really honest with you. But that's just my understanding. I'm going to be very cautious with shorting gold right now. It's either going to be long setups for me or nothing. Well, if you look at the futures chart of gold, you can see how we have been reacting or rejecting perfectly from the previous daily value area high. And this is an important level to really pay attention to here, because if you go to the volume analysis section and you go to the daily volume profile, we have something that we call the previous daily value area high here. Okay, and this is important because when price tends to tap into the previous daily value high, it can act as support, but it can also act as resistance. Right now, you can see perfectly on the dot here that we're getting rejected from the previous daily value area high here. There is no order block there. There is no fair value gap there. Okay, so it's a key level that shows us areas of interest, kind of like an institutional footprint. Okay, rejection is at 36.95 on the futures chart, and on spot it is actually at 936.550, 53-ish. So if gold breaks out, okay, and gold breaks above this level, I am very confident in looking for continuation buys, predominantly to take out the highs here. All right, the previous daily highs as my target. That will be a scenario where I will be looking for gold if we do decide to continue higher, and especially if the dollar remains weak post news in 5 minutes from now. Okay, that is gold in a nutshell. Very simple, not overcomplicating it here. We have a previous daily range. We break above that range. I'm looking for the continuation. Then, if the dollar decides to become bullish, continue go higher. For a fact, number one, higher time frame supply and demand. We bounced from a higher time frame demand zone yesterday. Okay, that's why we were shorting the Euro USD. Why? Dollar bounced, pulled back, gave us an internal confirmation, and we came up here. There is a lot of room towards the daily supply zone on the dollar. That is where I want to see price moving in towards to potentially, if we're going to come up, a daily supply. So this is our room of opportunity. Doesn't look like much on the daily, but on the lower time frame, you can see that there's still a lot of room for price to potentially come up higher. What I really like about the dollar is that the dollar has been creating a range. Range breaks are my favorite. Manipulations towards the downside are my favorite. These are one of the things that I'm always trying to look at here. This is my custom dollar chart showing me some levels that I'm going to pay attention to here. Okay, but in the case of a stronger dollar, I'm going to continue to short currencies like we shorted to Euro USD yesterday. Why? Because we have been developing a beautiful range during the Asian and London session here. Two things are going to happen if the dollar is strong. We manipulate up, we break down, we pull back. We're going to short here for a lower high towards a new lower low. Or price breaks down. We wait for the pullback into that range. We're going to short Euro and we're going to look for a lower low. That's it. CERC or CME. This is on page number 56, if I'm correct. Sorry, 46, 47 in your ebook right here. This full explanation. Consolidation, expansion, retracement, continuation is what we're currently looking for on the Euro USD, right? Consolidation, expansion, retracement, continuation. That is pretty textbook to me. Press a 1 in the chat if you agree with me, okay? Very simple. These are setups that I trade. Has a 50% win rate, 2-to-1 restored ratio, making money over time. If I would take exactly these setups every single day, I would potentially, not potentially, we will be making money over time here if you understand how the dollar moves, okay? 2 minutes left. New Zealand dollar, another one, okay? New Zealand dollar got rejected from daily supply. We are now in daily supply. We're holding below that range. Like, look at this. Consolidation, expansion, retracement. We're getting rejected here. Now we are looking at an internal range right there. Any break below this range is a lower high for a new lower low towards the Sunday open on the New Zealand dollar against US dollar. Very straightforward setup. Very textbook setup, if you ask me as well here. So we have the New Zealand dollar, we have the Euro USD, we have gold in case the dollar is weak, and we also have the dollar Swiss. Unfortunately, we missed out on that setup yesterday. Very unfortunate. I didn't take it. It was a beautiful range. We broke out of that range, pulled back, and we held. We decided to go for the Euro instead, the Euro USD instead. But this was the cleaner setup. I should have taken this one over the Euro, but again, a win is a win, and the confirmation was good enough for us to take a trade here. Okay. Anyways, we have a range. We are now below the Sunday open, below the opening price of the week. That's super important. Below the opening price of the week. This is that orange line. Sunday open. This is where price opens the week. Right at that level. We have been holding resistance. Right at that level, we're now breaking out. Again, that is a CERC play. Same thing. Textbook. All right, let's see what happens with the dollar. I hope the dollar comes down a bit to potentially come up later. I want to see a stronger dollar. If it's a weaker dollar, it's probably going to be gold instead. So we're going to find out here. Got you perfectly timed. News. Did it came out? It just came out, right? Dollar down. Dollar down into the previous daily value area high. Woo. Perfect. Gold pushing up, breaking higher. We're not there yet though. Dollar needs to really give us a confirmation. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to look at the dollar. We're going to look at a confirmation on the dollar. And that is going to be a decision maker. Is it going to be the currencies or is it going to be gold? One of those. We're going to find out here. Okay. In terms of news, minus 1%. Okay. That's not good for the dollar. You would say so. You never know though. It's about the closures. Let's see how we close this, this 30-minute candle. Yeah. For now, it seems that gold is going to be the chosen one. But we're going to find out in case the dollar does decide to turn around. We'll wait for a closure for sure. Okay? You guys are fully understanding the setups for today? Just so you understand. If so, type in yes. Just type a yes in the chat, please. Okay, so we are all on the same page. I mean, the community, my community is on the same page. We are all on the same page. The LTA VIP is on the same page. We are there. I'm asking the YouTube guys right now, are you guys aligned here? If so, then yeah, a big W for you. Then we just have to simply sit on our asses and wait for a confirmation. So yesterday or last night, there was a heavy. There's a lot of flooding happening in Bali right now. Really, really nasty, by the way. The amount of rain is insane. My villa survived. I'm actually quite isolated in a remote area, you would say so. So it's actually kind of tricky. Yeah. Very, very big issues here in my beautiful island, Bali, right now at the moment. We did survive. Ronit says, hey Lorenzo, do you remember me? Ronit, probably, bro. Probably, I've seen your name. But yeah, I know there are many Indians that are called Ronit. So I'm not sure 100%. Okay. Brad says, was a tornado in Australia? Damn. Damn. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, guys, I just want to warn you, if electricity falls out or if the stream falls out, understand where it's coming from. Understand that I'm an island boy. I live on an island. I've been living on an island for whatever, 5 years now, okay? So if the electricity falls out, it would not be a surprise to you, all right? Yes, sir. Yesterday's trade. Can you explain it? We can. All right. Yesterday's trade was the following trade setup. To be honest, guys, I love this shit, by the way. I really love this shit, by the way. Just so you know. If we flip bearish, oh my God. Talking high probability setup. If we flip bearish. As we swipe the highs, we reverse, we break below that range, we pull back and we sell off. It's high probability. Anyways, we'll see where the closure will be. We have no control. We have no control. Discounts for the dollar Swiss too. Discounts for gold as gold is a different story. Gold needs to break above that level, right? That's it. That's it. Make sure that you give your boy a like already. Your boy has to get back into the algorithm, you know? Therefore, we're preparing right now in September for Q4. Q4, we're going to blow the shit out of this stuff right now. Q4 is going to be our quarter. I can guarantee you that. Results-wise, trading-wise, profit-wise, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it. It's going to happen. Q4 will be significant here. Okay? Q4 will be legendary. I just realized I still need to update yesterday's trade. Anyways, we'll figure it out. Amarsa says gold buy. Well, the thing is, bro, we're getting rejected right now. The dollar is holding. Okay? The dollar is holding up. If we go to the dollar chart, look at where it's bouncing from. Right? We marked this level out for a reason. It's the previous daily value area high, right? Don't just expect the dollar to drop. Don't expect anything from the news. If you guys are thinking that news is going to tell you where we're going to go, you are mistaken, my friend. You have no idea if things are priced in already. You have no idea if this is a trap, if this is a setup, right? There's so many variables. I don't just assume based upon news that in the short term, we are just going to roll over. Okay? Don't expect that. Not going to work out in the long term. Andre says, first we give a like, then we watch. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Look at that rejection then, man. On gold right now at the moment. Look at that rejection. That means that these are going to flip bearish too. Look at the euro. Look at the euro. If the euro breaks down and we pull back, we're going to draw the fixed range volume profile here on the left side of our screen. We're going to go to this section right here. We're going to draw the fixed range volume profile from the left to the right. We're going to wait for the breakdown. We're going to mark out some of our key levels from that range once we have that confirmation. This is one of them. We're going to wait for price to retest that level. We're going to see a rejection. And we're going to take a short setup. And we're going to look for the further continuation down to daily demand. Right there. That will be the setup. If we see indeed that reversal happening. Okay. That is what we're going to look at. So yeah, hopefully we flip bearish. Hopefully we roll over here and then we can take a nice setup here on the euro. A CERC setup. Yesterday we were in daily supply. Okay, let me explain that. Somebody asked this here. Let me explain you yesterday's trade. Euro was in daily supply. Okay, dollar was in 12-hour and 8-hour demand. Okay, price broke out. The dollar decided to break out of this range right here. Break out of this range. We drew the volume profile from the left to the right. Price pulled back into that range. It held into that range and it never closed below the fixed value area high. That is an internal trading confirmation. Look how beautiful it actually held above that level right there. Okay, that was a confirmation. Then we had some news, a little bit annoying, but we had to be patient. We waited for an entry model. That entry model didn't play out right away. But what happened was on the 15-minute time frame on the Euro USD here, we decided to mark out any particular range. We had a beautiful CERC already, right? The consolidation, the expansion, the retracement, the continuation. This is exactly what we're talking about here. The consolidation, expansion, retracement, continuation. Right? So that was London session. Now we didn't trade London. So what did we do? We waited for price to break further and we looked at any previous range right here. What did we do? We waited for price to break below that range, pull back into that range. We had some news. However, we never closed below the fixed POC of that range right here. Okay, that is a major sign that buyers are still not in control. We waited for that confirmation. We waited for that flip of this, I believe it was this candle here. Stop loss went above this range. We did not care about the wick, right? Stop loss went above that range here. I think it was actually right there. And we targeted a, it was a 2-to-1 restored ratio for sure. 100%. So it was something like that. And we targeted the opening price of the week. Okay. Right now, we're seeing the Euro USD getting rejected at the opening price of the week. You see that? That is that rejection. So where we had that setup yesterday, let's say it was around there. I think it was around there. It was something like that. It was a 2-to-1. It was actually something like that. Now I know. Right at that flip. We are now seeing that we're getting rejected from the Sunday Open right here. Okay. And this is important because the euro is unable to break above the opening price of the week. It went up during news. It's now breaking down here. The only thing that I can do right now is to mark out this range and to understand that we also have another setup that we can trade. And that is this one right below. These setups are proven. These setups are taken by most of our traders. 80% of our profits came from these two setups right here in Q3. The reason why Q3 we just sticked to these type of plays because of the higher time frame. Right, we were in a macro range. We have not been expanding too much here. Okay, so internal structure, ranges, and breakouts were extremely relevant for us. We can see a consolidation. Usually you see somewhat of a manipulation. And then we see the real move, right? The expansion. In this case, on the euro right now, we're looking at a range. I could call this then the manipulation. We break above it aggressively. But if we manage to break down and we close below it and we pull back, then it's a short setup right there with relatively high probability for our current continuation down, right? We're trending down already right here. It's just a matter of if we're getting rejected here, this trend is going to continue. All right, that intraday trend that we're talking about is going to continue to go. We always talk about the foundation. Okay, page number 15 of your ebook, the LTA framework. Right, what we're now seeing on the euro is here what we call the intraday trend. The intraday trend is getting created, and that resulted into a continuation play right now. So bearish is my way to go. And this is why I don't think it's smart right now. If the dollar remains strong, I don't think it's smart to long gold here. I don't think it's smart to short gold either. Because if you could choose to short something, what would you short? Would you short gold? Or would you short the euro? By looking at the structure of the market right now. That's why. Higher probability on shorts on the currency. This is why we trade multiple assets right now. Because it gives us more freedom. It gives us more opportunity. It gives us an overall higher probability. Because if we can short, you know, let's say I would only trade gold, right? The dollar would come up. Then gold would never come down as aggressive as the euro USD would be coming down right now. Why? Because gold, for some reason, is just holding up extremely well. Even when we came down yesterday, it immediately recovered. Euro never recovered. The euro ranged. Look at that euro. The euro just created a range today. Gold already was trending upwards. How many markets you scan daily for potential setups? The major pairs, gold, silver, sometimes indices, but very rarely. -0 says, will we take any live trade? Bro, have you been watching the streams or not? Because you've been here already for a while, my friend. -0. You've been here for a while. I've been here from last year. Well, then you know that we're trading. We have no issues with trading live. That's for sure. However, we're not going to just randomly press a long or a short setup. If the real OGs remember this very well, one time, someone told me in the chat, it was a year ago, just go long, man, or go short, or you're not taking any trades, or whatever the case may be. I closed my eyes and I pressed short. Obviously, that was a losing trade. We lost this trade immediately. It was random. 20 minutes later, we decided, okay, you guys understand why we're patient. You guys understand why we're waiting for certain setups to play out. You understand that we're waiting for our setups that have been tested, that have been proven. There's a reason behind that. Okay? There's a reason behind that. You know what? Enough talking. Let me just show you what I mean. Okay, I'll randomly enter right now short, okay? Especially for you. Here we go. Good luck. And this is exactly the reason why we do what we do, why we trade LTA, why we have a system behind what we do here. 1G, 2Gs, 3Gs, I don't care. This is to prove a point. Up and down by yourself. This is what happens. This is why we kill our winning streak to make you a better trader. Congratulations. Worth every single dime. If you get it, press a yes in the chat. Shout out to my OGs. Let's get back to work. Let's do things the right way. Win or lose, this is a real trade. Entry model 1 on a 50-minute, stop loss below here. So this is the perfect moment to take some profits here. We close 50%, fantastic. Time to trust. That was a gay period when I took profits. Stop loss in profit. Final TP until we go to our take profit here. Boom. We officially are profitable after the previous trade, the example trade. I'm confident in what we're doing here. TP hit. This is the proof of point. Thank you very much. LTA, baby. I think you get the point. Patience is everything, my friend. Patience is freaking everything. If you want to become a successful trader, patience is your #1 objective. Patience combined with proven data, historical data, real setups, you're going to get there, my friend. Patience is freaking everything. I like the euro. I like how it's dropping. The dollar is holding. Yeah. Yeah. That is looking good. What do you think about Casper SMC using the New York Open 5-minute range and waiting for very gap to close out of the range in the 1 minute? The ORB strategies are extremely popular right now. You know what's problem? The funny thing is that so many guys are trying to trade the ORB strategy. They're all getting banned from every single prop firm out there because everyone is trading the exact same method. They wait for that break, 5-minute candle. Price comes out, breaks out, retests, then pulls back into that range here. They're all getting freaking banned. They're all getting banned. Regardless, I'm not sure if it works. It could work. It's real data. The reason why I like it is because, you know, there is a system behind it. So it's already by default 10 times better than someone who just randomly enter a position, yes or no. That's just the reality. So yeah, it could definitely work. Prop firms hate it. Absolutely hate it. In the meantime, guys, just to be honest, This song has been repeated now already for around 20 minutes. You guys haven't even noticed. Hypnosis, my friend. Hypnosis. Anyways. Locked in, locked in. Lorenzo, how's it going with your prop firm challenge? Yeah, my final account for the 5 express accounts. One more. I have 1 combine indeed. 1 trade and I'm done. 1 trade and we're finished. Because of yesterday. Yesterday's trade, 2-to-1. Did it for us. Today, we'll see. We'll see. In the meantime, I'm gonna check on my guys real quick. I'm gonna see if we're on the same page still here. Andre, Euro, 5 minutes. See me. Yo, Andre, Big G.
Yo.
You entered Euro USD short already? Internally?
No, not yet. I'm waiting for this 30-minute candle to close.
Okay.
Yeah.
Strong rejection indeed. Strong rejection.
Yeah.
Hourly candle. Keep in mind, the
figure.
hourly candle is going to open up.
Yeah.
So pay attention to this
Bottom week.
to this next hourly candle. Yes. I think it's important to pay attention to this. For sure.
Yeah. A bottom week on the dollar. And then we kind of take it like this.
Yes.
Retest probably on the fixed value low of this
Yes.
range and take it down to the daily demand.
Exactly. Fantastic. Gold dropping below the previous range here, so it's definitely rejection. The dollar is holding really strong. And look at this, guys. Again, isn't this a confirmation? Isn't this a sign that you should never trust the news? Let me show you what I mean here. PPI comes out. Negative, extremely bad. Dollar drops. Pulls into one of our key levels. What we call the previous daily value area high. If you draw a range, we look at our LTA. If you look at our limitless LTA concept session breaks at New York Stock Exchange open, we see these lines. This is the Monday. This is the Tuesday. If we draw the fixed range volume profile from yesterday's range, okay? So not from a Monday, but from a Tuesday on the dollar. Then we're gonna get a couple of levels here. Price pulls back into one of these levels. It reacts from it and it flips bullish. Isn't this a till sign? You should never trust news built around the data. I've seen the worst data coming out over the course of years. I've seen the worst data for the dollar coming out. I've seen price closing the day bullish. We call that a news failure. All right, news failures happen all the time. This is actually a really bullish signal for the dollar. Don't trust the news. Don't just assume that X is gonna do something. Don't just assume that price is gonna flip and turn around. Not gonna work out in the long term. You will not have an edge right there. Okay. Dollar closes in 4 minutes. We will have the hourly candle closure here. We have this range. Any breakout retest is a setup for any currency. Any currency against the dollar, preferably the euro. The euro right now is still looking the best. We took a trade euro yesterday. So maybe today we'll see the same exact thing here. The only thing that we need is some volume. Some volume, some movement. And that's pretty much it. Okay. New Zealand dollar is holding up too strong. New Zealand dollar needs to break below here. So that's not going to do it. Dollar Swiss will be another opportunity. Same as yesterday. Same exact thing as yesterday, to be honest with you. Dollar Swiss, bullish continuation play. Why? We're building that intraday trend right here. Okay. And if there's something that we're always talking about, once we tap into higher time frame demand, Dollar Swiss, beautiful 12-hour demand zone right here, higher time frame demand. The first thing that we're looking at is, are we starting to build an intraday trend? This is what glues the higher to lower time frame together. Now, this is one of our things that we talk about all the time. It is the macro fundamentals, which we didn't talk about today. We talked about it yesterday, but this is an important layer. The macro technicals, in this case, we're talking about 12-hour demand right here. 12-hour demand. We're talking about an intraday trend. This is what we're building now. And the micro technicals are our patterns. These are our patterns, our specific patterns that we trade over and over and over again. With that in mind, we have number 5. Number 5 is the risk management strategy. It's our risk profile. According to the market condition, according to the macro structure, according to the setup, right? We will define our risk profile. Will this be a 1R? And will that equal 1% per trade? Or will that equal 0.5% per trade? Right? That's something that we're trying to figure out right here. What will be more beneficial? Right now, I can confidently say we're going to go full R, full risk, at least 1% per trade. It's usually for me $1,000 per account. That means $5,000 for 5 accounts. I have $5,000 risk to make 10 G's. That's the goal. After that, we're going to take 30 trades following this exact method. After that, we're going to journal these trades, or during that period, we're going to journal these trades. We're going to get feedback upon the results of these 30 trades, and we're going to look for any form of optimization right around there. And once that's done, the whole cycle repeats itself. Yes. What is the win rate you need? You need a roughly 50% win rate. That's all you need, my friends. A 2-to-1 risk-reward ratio, a 50% win rate. Did we took profit yesterday, guys? That's a question to you. If you were yesterday on stream and we took a short setup on the Euro USD, did I took profit along the way here? Or did I let my trade run till the end? Let me know. I'm gonna get some tea. Adrian says, no, just run it. You played it out. Put stop loss on break even. Exactly. This is what we did, though. That's completely correct. We took our, we put our stop loss on break even. Why? At a 1R in the middle of our trade here, we decided to put our stop loss on break even. Oh, no, actually, we did it earlier yesterday. You're right. Because of the market conditions. Because the market conditions, indeed. They were horrible. Yeah, that is sometimes a scenario. Putting our stops on break even. But I'm not taking profits anymore along the way. I don't like it. It hasn't been working in the long term. Okay. I've been literally testing this live before. I've been going through a lot of different stages, testing a lot of things. Conclusion, I decided to experiment with a 2-to-1 risk-reward ratio. Results were unbelievable. And I actually lost more trades than I won. Not lost more trades than I won. I lost more trades than before because of that, obviously. Because if you let your trade run for a 2-to-1 risk-reward ratio and price hits your stop after it being in profit or whatever, you're going to have more losing trades. But I still made more money. And the question is, do we want to win more trades? Or do we want to make more money? Most streamers want to win more trades. That's their goal. That's their incentive. That's how they get their W's. That's how they get people joining their group. More W's. I want to make a bunch of freaking money. That's why I'm here. Joran Kasper says, Lorenzo, my win rate last year was 91%. My account was $50. Now it is 10K. Man, then you are part of the 0.01%, my friend. I salute you. Bro, I've been using LTA strategy. Whenever I enter a trade, it goes in my favor, but then it reverses. I can't seem to understand my mistake. What you should do. This is a perfect example. This is a perfect example how most people start with our strategy. Right? So let me show you how most people start using our strategy. All right. First, what they do is they start utilizing the volume profile right away. So they look at our framework. They start off with key levels, drawing key levels. What do they do? They start marking out anything like a range. They start marking out previous daily levels. They start following all the rules and they start executing a position from there. So they look for a range. We look for the breakout, the retest. Okay. And they take a trade from any of our key levels. The only problem is that this will only work for a certain amount of time, right? This is something that will work, you know, at the beginning. You might get lucky, you get executed, you execute a position, everything goes well, you make some trades, you win some trades, etc., etc. Once you start losing and entering a losing streak, that's when most people start quitting. And they say, yeah, the strategy doesn't work. It's not for me. I've tried it, right? I've tried it, not for me, blah, blah, blah. The next step is to really start understanding the nuances that come with it. And we have a couple terms that we talk about all the time. One of these terms is what we call correlation, okay? The correlation is what we call a must know how. Extremely important. Because if you understand correlation, then you understand that if one goes up, the other must come down, all right? So you now have two charts to look at instead of one for your confirmation. Correlation is king, okay? Secondary, we talk about relative strength. If the dollar comes down and the euro comes up, but if the dollar comes down and gold comes up much more than the euro, then what do you want to long? Gold or the euro? Obviously you want to long gold. All right, so there are a couple terms that come with that, okay? Besides that, once you start getting so super familiar with our micro technicals, our lower time frame execution, using the volume profile, your next objective is to zoom out and get towards the higher time frame, the macro technicals. Start marking out your supply and demand zones. Get familiar with understanding the macro to micro framework. Once that's done, you start working on correlation, relative strength. That's where you start really seeing your results exponentially grow. I think my community right now can acknowledge that. In the meantime, while we're waiting for price to break out, right? We have been again listening for 15 minutes to the same song. It's just like, you've been sleeping again, my friend. Whew. But the good thing is, if you get familiar with the trading war map, the first thing I highly recommend you to do is to draw key levels, let price get into these levels and take trades. Start getting familiar with it. The rest comes after. If you are serious about following an approach, a certain framework, certain strategy, the rest will follow. The rest will follow. We want to see some volume, some nice break, some volume here. If there's no volume, yeah. That's it, right? There is no volume, but there should be, we want to see a breakout. Obviously, we want to see a breakout. The New York Stock Exchange is going to open up. Maybe that will bring us some volume, to be real honest with you. Yeah. Telegram and Discord, pure VIP, pure fire. Thank you. Appreciate that, my friend. Yeah, you know better than me, Liam. You have been crushing it. But anyways, Alex, 2 weeks since I joined LTA Discord group, currently trading with 2 live funded accounts, low risk on most of my trades. Happy with the results. Really happy and grateful for the clear vision of the market Lorenzo is offering us, and also grateful for all the guys in our Discord trading floor. If you feel that you're on the right path with trading, but still missing something, Discord group might be the best option for you. See you all on Discord and YouTube live streams. My guy. Okay. Hard work equals easy money, my friend. Hard work equals easy money. Very nice. Very nice. Fixed POC. Very nice. Gold. Was it yesterday? Yeah, very nice. Dollar giving everything back, bullish in other currencies. To be real honest, I'm not gonna long any other currencies. I would rather focus on gold. New York Stock Exchange open, gold breakout fully to the upside. If the dollar decides to roll over and break down, gold is the only answer long to me. That's the only way I would look for a setup, to be honest. If the dollar decides to break higher and break out of this beautiful range, currencies short. How can I join Telegram? You can join our Telegram by clicking on the link in the description right here. You go there, you click on this link, and it will immediately allow you to download our book or to join our Telegram directly. It's up to you to decide what you want to do. You can download our book, which I highly recommend to do so, and follow the email sequence. Message us and we'll accept you in our group. If you follow a couple of instructions that are extremely important. And that's it. That's the easiest way to get involved with LTA after the streams or during the sessions, London sessions. Jordan Casper says, Lorenzo, I love your streams because I like to see people with their own view at the market, and your view is very unique. Thank you, my friend. I'm in love with the volume profile. Volume, to me, is everything. People think and confuse volume. People confuse volume for large candlesticks. That's not what I mean with volume, okay? When I talk about volume, I'm talking about price volume, right? Not time volume. I'm talking about price volume. I'm talking about the amount of volume traded at a specific level during a specific time period. That is the key difference. Why? Because I want to understand where the most institutional orders were executed in the marketplace. I don't care about, whatever, short-term, lower time frame order blocks or for value gaps or whatever the case may be. I care about facts. I don't care about subjectivity, okay? This is why I believe volume is king. Because volume allows you to understand where the most orders have been executed in the marketplace during a specific moment in time. There is a reason why most orders, most trades were executed at a certain price level, okay? There is a reason why on gold here, we are getting rejected from the previous daily value area high at 36.95 perfectly. There is no order block there. There is no fair value gap there. Why are we getting rejected exactly at that price level? It has to do with the institutional footprint, ladies and gentlemen, the orders that are executed in the marketplace. This is what we understand. This is what we're looking for. And this is how we have built a strategy around that, okay? This is facts. You can't neglect the fact that this is just 100% truth. This is on the futures chart, centralized exchange. This is where you can see the exact orders executed. The red line equals the most orders executed at a certain price level. This is why we are now facing resistance. This is why during the London session, we couldn't break above it. All right, do you understand now that we have built this strategy together over the course of years, that we're in this thing together, that we are fighting the banks together, the institutional traders together? This is who we are with LTA, okay? This is our community. This is what we do. This is what we have been doing day in, day out for the past year when my VIP group was closed, when I didn't make any money from my business, when I was just purely focused on the guys in the group, leveling them up, not even on live streams on YouTube, nothing, writing a book and executing trades with my team. It's team effort, ladies and gentlemen. It's team effort, okay? If we look at the guys here in the group, this is all team effort. The guys that are here, Andre, Christian, Liam, Ronak, these guys are streaming, have been streaming consistently, trying to improve, trying to show other traders how it's done in our group, etc. It's cumulative, all right? We're doing this together. What is the row size of the volume profile? This is also in the ebook, my friend. Okay. This is in the ebook. You can find this on page number 22. Page number 22. Andre, everyday stream in the VIP trading floor where we talk and trade trades as a community, as a family. Yeah, man. The number one reason why we are succeeding in our group is in general. Also on YouTube, by the way, right now. I can see it in the chat. It's super clean. There is no ego here, okay? There is no ego. There are no guys that think that are better, like that are better than others. Like, to be really honest with you, I hate these motherfuckers that think they are better because secretly they're sitting in their basement jerking off every single fucking morning. They are, you know, ejaculating their life out of them. And they're frustrated about life, right? They're sad. That's why they have to make other people, you know, feel worse than them, because that's the only way they feel better about themselves. What a fucking losers. No ego here, man. This is why our chat is clean. And if we do one thing correctly, it's giving everyone on the same page. That's our number one objective. Right? Getting everyone on the same page here. That's it. Sure, we might have slightly different executions here and there, but the overall premises is where it's at. If you can get a lot of people on the same page, you know, you could actually just, you know, you understand. If you can get everyone on the same page, you have multiple brains, like executing, thinking, right? We increase our IQ, literally. Dollar, 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 dollar. Euro, euro, euro. Still not breaking out, still not breaking down, still in that range. Can every consolidation range be used as a fixed range? Yes, absolutely, 100%. Every consolidation range can be used as a fixed range. Let me show you how you can use an area of consolidation, okay? First thing you do is you mark out any particular range you see in the market. Either two things are going to happen. Either price is going to pull back into that range. It will get to the it will get to the fixed POC, the area where the area where in that range the most volume was traded. You use the fixed range volume profile on the left side. You draw it across the range. You then highlight the red line and you draw a level. You wait for price to respond and to react from that level. And you execute once your entry model comes to fruition here, right? That is one way of utilizing a trade. And look at that beautiful expansion here. The consolidation, the expansion, the retracement, the continuation, right? That is one way of looking at a range, all right? This is something that we do over and over again. It happens freaking all the time, okay? Now, another way to look at a range is this way. You create a range right here. You break out of that range. You draw and mark out the level. You mark out your levels. You wait for price to pull back. In this case, it breaks above it. You might think, oh, but last time you said consolidation, expansion, retrace, continuation. I get to that, okay? In this case, what happens? The consolidation, the manipulation, and the expansion, right? Boom. Perfectly from the fixed POC. Again, from that particular range. You see how perfectly price steps into that and then freaking expands like never before. The CME and the CERC are one of the two most powerful setups that you can look at. Okay? Your objective beforehand is to understand what you're looking for and what you're expecting from the market. Do you expect a CERC or do you expect a CME? If you expect a CME, your entry will be here. If you expect a CERC, your entry will be here. This has to do with the higher time frame. This has to do with the overall LTA framework, okay? This is what allows you to understand before the break happens what you're going to be looking at. You guys know what I'm saying? Type in LTA if you understand what I mean here. Try out these two patterns, the CERC, the CME, and start understanding what will happen in the near future. Will it be a CME or will it be a CERC? That is something to work on. This is something that you can work towards, right? Improving that accuracy. You might take 10 trades and you get a 30% win rate. That means you only win 3 out of 10 trades. But with a 2-to-1 risk-reward ratio, you will practically break even. Yet you lost 7 out of the 10 trades. Your only objective from there would be, how do I get that 3 to 7 to a 5 to 5? How do I get an equal amount of wins against my losses? And how do I turn that into consistency? Because if you have a equal amount of wins against an equal amount of losses, 5 wins, 5 losses with a 2-to-1 risk-reward ratio, you're going to make money, my friend. You're going to make some freaking money. That's just the reality. Okay? Your goal is to see what you can do there. Objectively speaking, how can you get your 30% win rate up to a 40, a 50, sometimes a 60, in a winning streak, a 70% win rate? That's where the magic's at. You need to start somewhere. And the only way to get started is by freaking starting with a strategy and a simple, effective approach that allows you to create the data that you need in order to improve and execute. Do you know what to do, when to optimize, and actually start understanding how market dynamics truly work. In both scenarios, we're executing from the POC, so how do we know if it's a manipulation or expansion? These are good questions, my friend. Like I said before, macro is super important. Higher time frame supply and demand. Why is this so important? Why do I use this all the time? Why am I looking on the euro on a daily supply zone? Why did we take a short? Because we understand the higher time frame. That's one way. We also understood that the dollar, which stands 100% across the euro goes up, the dollar goes down, and vice versa. The dollar was giving us a bullish confirmation yesterday. The dollar gave us a fantastic setup, a confirmation long. Why? We were bouncing off of 12-hour demand. Internal confirmation with the volume profile. So when the euro broke down, we knew by default it would have been a continuation play right here. Yesterday, you saw the perfect example. We were in daily supply, dollar bounced from 12-hour demand. We created a range, we pulled back right here. No joke, if you would look here, You withdraw the range. You are in daily supply here. You break down. Dollar gave us a confirmation. Where did it pull back to? Look at where it pulled back to. Magic. We call it magic with context, magic with nuance. Okay. Yeah, Euro is still getting rejected from the Sunday open right now. We're still in a range. We haven't broken out really. We manipulated to the upside. We broke down. We're now pulling back up again. This is why that hourly closure was so important. But most importantly, that break out of that range was so important as well here for a potential continuation. Dollar seems to be coming down a little bit right now. Still not breaking out. So the question is, are you going to find support here? Yes or no? Gold. I want to see gold pushing up a bit more aggressively, to be real honest with you. But right now, we're going to see the New York Stock Exchange open. So hopefully, we're going to see some volume in around 2 minutes. Geo, hey anyone, does anyone know what the POC is called on Top Step? It's called the fixed range volume profile. It's not a magic tool, okay? Like we're joking about it all the time. That's like the magic touch and blah blah blah. Well, you can give someone the fixed range volume profile, and they're gonna blow their account because they don't understand how to use it properly. You need a system. You need to work with a certain framework in order to make and turn this actually into magic. That's the only way. So let me just simply show you live how we do that, so you understand exactly how we utilize this framework. And then it's up to you to decide if you're serious about trading, if you're serious about leveling up, and actually serious about changing your life. Because I read an article about AI and stuff and how fast it's adapting. How quickly actually right now at the moment jobs are getting taken every single day. And most importantly, how millions of new retail traders will join us along the way over the next coming years, okay? Retail is gonna join. Why? Because they have to. They freaking have to. So you need to make a decision for yourself to say, I'm gonna change my life. I'm gonna work and put in the work. I'm not gonna jerk off every morning because, you know, I feel this way. It's not gonna work out long term. Maybe 10 years ago, yes, you could still, you know, play with your little Lulu. But right now, we're heading into dangerous territory, my friend. Dangerous territory. It's truly time to step up your game here. Okay, New York Stock Exchange. Come on, baby. Come on. Give us some volume. Give us a breakout. Do you use footprints and heat maps? No, not per se. However, I don't use footprints and heat maps. I did, however, analyze hundreds, if not thousands of sessions also from an order flow standpoint, to understand how entry models are developed and why they do work. All right. In terms of order flow traders, a lot of order flow guys are using the volume profile from a candlestick perspective. The reason why is because they also want to know where the most interest was, because they see this and understand that this is the true essence of what we call support and resistance. It's the area where the most interest took place, right? Where the battle was the most active, right? This is why we call the POC the battleground, okay? The reason why we call it the battleground is because there was a battle, a war between buyers, between sellers, all right? Aggressive buyers versus passive sellers versus aggressive buyers. It's one of those. It's market versus limit. This is how a contract gets formed. So yes, I've been analyzing the footprint chart. I've been looking at order flow a lot in order for me to also understand exactly how entry models actually develop and why they work as they work here. So I'm not just looking at a candle formation and think, oh, it's just because of this candle. It has nothing to do with the candle, okay? It has something to do with what I call the exhaustion that takes place, or the absorption that takes place on the lower time frame. And this is why I always recommend to at least take the 50-minute in consideration, the 50-minute or 30-minute, and not lower per se, because of that confirmation, because it gives us enough time for the lower time frame to play out. And I've seen the accuracy just going up tremendously here. So yes, the conclusion is I have been looking at order flow. I might include order flow later on in the third stage of LTA concepts for the advanced. But in my opinion, from my understanding and what I've seen, it's optional. It's really optional. I've seen it work. The strategy works. We understand why it works, and we utilize other methods to really get an understanding of the macro direction, of why we believe that price should go up or down in the next coming days or weeks ahead of us, and how on the lower time frame we can actually anticipate to that. So conclusion for people that just join us, all right, we were talking about a couple of setups here today. If the dollar was weak today, the only thing that we want to see is we want to see gold breaking out of this high. If gold re-breaks this high, it retests this high, there is a large likelihood we're going to take out and we're going to go for the previous daily highs. So we're going to look for a long entry, right? A long confirmation entry. If the dollar would have been strong, we would have been looking at the currencies, right? We would have been shorting the currencies. I'm not interested in long in the currencies because we are in macro higher time frame supply here. Okay. So I prefer to long gold if the dollar is weak. I prefer to short currencies if the dollar is strong. Probably make sure that we will I'll do this later. How about combining the fixed volume profile with the footprint to spot a reversal and imbalances? Yes, you can do that for sure. You can 100%. If you want to do that and you will feel more comfortable this way, you can. And you will see that these entry models we talk about play out over and over again. You will see. Especially when you actually start trying to understand and learn about the footprint chart, etc. For sure. All right, we're getting a little bit of volume. I do like it overall. We're getting a bit of volume here. It's just about to break out here. Like I said before, what's going to happen here is that because of this high right now, a lot of guys are going to try to short gold here. What I honestly believe is that we're building out a lot of short side liquidity here. Whatever, a lot of guys shorting the markets right now at the moment. A lot of aggressive sellers trying to sell and take price down after that retracement. I think there is a larger, bigger player absorbing these sells. And I would not be surprised if we're going to go for the previous daily highs, because I think this is where most guys that went short here are going to put potentially their exit right there. And where I think a lot of buy stops will be placed. That is what I think is happening here. But again, that is all speculation. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to go long. It all depends on the trade confirmation, of course. Sir, why is volume profile input are different like the row size? Can you please explain? I don't understand your question. In terms of the row size, if that's your question, it's 128 and 70. Okay? I will always use the same 128 row, 70 value area volume. It just gives you that more defined look and understanding of where the most volume has been traded. Lorenzo, how long have you been living in Bali? I've been living in Bali for 5 years. People think that Bali is a place where you go if you want to start backpacking or something like that here. The reality is right now, it is so freaking expensive. It is insane. The amount of villas that are getting built here every single day. The amount of schools that are getting built here for international children. An international hub. It is ridiculous. The amount of Russians and Ukrainians that come to Bali that buy up the land here. Woo, crazy. Prices are going through the roof. The amount of things that are getting built here, it's absolutely crazy. And the problem is the infrastructure is not ready for it. The roads are not ready for it, okay? I love Bali. I really do. I love everything about it. I love that I can wake up, I can hop on my scooter, boom, right away, get to my boxing gym, get to my gym, the best wellness gyms in the world, in my opinion, by far the best. There is a gym around the corner right now. You go there, you pay $2,000, you pay then $300 per month. They take your blood, they do a full body check. Okay? A full body check. They measure your testosterone levels. They measure every single instrument in your body. They look at your data and they say, you need to do this. You need to work on this. You need to start eating this. You need to do this, this, this. You need to take this, this, and this, and this. Our trainers are going to help you. And we're going to send you the exact meals on a daily basis here to your house by car or by scooter. And we drop every morning at 10 a.m. in the morning will give you your full diet for the whole day. All your macros for the whole day. Boom. That's a wellness gym here in Bali. Everything for you is done. You don't have to think about anything. You just have to show up, get your ass out of bed. You're gonna get fat. You're gonna get trained. You're gonna get measured. That's Bali in a nutshell right now for you. It's crazy, man. It truly is crazy. It's getting much better, but also more expensive. So yes, you need to have money. Before, I would say you can just live on a simple budget. I don't think it's possible anymore. I think you need to make at least 5 G's a month here to live a normal life, honestly. Lorenzo, did you see the Nasdaq made a new all-time high again? Yeah, I would not be surprised if that's the case here. But it doesn't look like... this is your ORB strategy in a nutshell? This is the ORB strategy, correct? 9:30 candle. Wait, is it on a 15-minute? Yeah, it is. 9:30 candle. Now, this is going to be the high of the candle, right? This is going to be the low of the candle. What happens is the next candle, we're going to see a breakout, right? For example, they're going to enter on the retest of the candle. They're probably going to do something like this. They're going to short it on the retest. They target an X level. I don't know which level exactly. Could be the previous daily low. And they put their stop loss above, I think, above the opening candle range. Something like that. Something like that. Okay. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens today. But I think that's how they do it. It's called the ORB strategy. Everyone does it. And the problem with it is, if you do this on a popcorn challenge, you're most likely not going to get paid out because... yeah, everyone does it. Everyone does the same exact strategy, same time. You have the same entry, the same exit. It's morphed for sure. Is that called morphed? Is that the word for it? Why wouldn't they pay out if it works? You don't know. Welcome to the profitable space, my friend. Welcome. This is the real world. MG Pern says this constitutes as copy trading, even though it's not. Shit. Damn. This constitutes as copy trading, even though it's not, because it's so commonly used. Exactly. That's the real reason here. Yep. That is the real reason. Okay, guys, if gold breaks out here, then I see this as a range manipulation breakout retest entry. Have every denied payout from prop firm. Gold hovering over previous daily POC. Yeah, if we break above the previous daily very high, then yeah, that's for sure it. 100%. Dollar seems to be breaking down. Would you ever use a double wick confirmation at the Sunday open as an entry? Yes, we talk about this all the freaking time, all the time in our group. We will be using a double wick confirmation, all right? Let me show you exactly how the Sunday open execution strategy works, okay? First thing you do is we wait for the opening price of the week. We have our indicator for that. Usually what you tend to see is an orange line. If you use this indicator, you can, by the way, get it in our Discord for free. It's the Limitless LTA Concept Session Breaks and New York Stock Exchange Sunday Open. Right here. You create an orange line. That orange line represents the opening price of the week. If you have a bullish bias, you're obviously not going to short gold. Why? Because you are bullish bias. You need to have somewhat of a bullish bias, okay? Now, this is the opening price of the week. What happens? Price breaks above it. It sets in a double wick confirmation. That means you see these two candles here with a bottom wick right there, aligning perfectly. You enter on the break of that candle. We are putting our stop loss below that candle, and we usually are going to go for a 2-to-1 risk toward ratio right here. And we let our trade play out like that. All right, that is the Sunday open trading setup we're using, which we call the weekly cycle opening confirmation entry. Yeah? Macro buy is super important. Everything is extremely, extremely key here. Okay? You need to have a clear macro bias, by the way. That is the Sunday open strategy. Gold has been working very well around the opening price. Why? Because you understand the opening price of the week. You understand the macro concept. Any break above it could lead into a confirmation. However, again, I'm talking about it all the time. Dollar is crucial to understand. Dollar behavior is so important. You know? X Podcast says, Lorenzo, I've been watching you for more than a year, but I haven't seen you making enough money. It feels suspicious. I am broke. I'm broke. So if gold breaks above the previous daily very high, I think we're very close. We're going to see a continuation play here. And that continuation play will result into the exact same setup like yesterday, but then the other way around. Okay? Did I mention it is also the fixed very high, by the way? Of that range we talked about yesterday. We talked about that range. We got rejected at the fixed very high. It's the same thing. Same level. Same exact approach. Lorenzo, check out your Telegram here. What do I need to see here? LTA based rejection from the previous weekly very low. Okay. Is that on the dollar? Okay. Very nice. Lorenzo, when you're playing the saxophone on stream, yeah, there is something I've been doing. I've been learning how to play the saxophone. Okay. You can laugh at me all you want, but this is a $5,000 saxophone right there. It is one of the most beautiful, beautiful instruments I've ever learned how to play. It's ridiculously beautiful. Look at this beautiful instrument right there. One of the best instruments ever. Imagine this. Imagine this, okay? You're with me. We are on a yacht. We have the LTA after party together. Sunset, some deep house music, DJ, the saxophone, drinks, alcohol free, of course, and fantastic music. That's the LTA in a nutshell, all right? That's the game we're playing here. Anyways, I'll get back to that later on. Anyways, we are going to see exactly what's going to happen here. When we were looking at yesterday's trade, I need to update it actually, but the Euro USD, if the Euro remains weak, so if the Euro is unable to break supply here, what we're going to look for is obviously a pullback into that larger range again and wait for a larger, you could say a larger potential distribution to take place here in case the dollar decides to hold here. But the CPI obviously is gonna have a major impact. Gold is something I will personally never short. Never short right now. Not worth it. Macro trend strong. Gold doesn't respond to dollar strength as much as it should be. There is no reason to short gold in my opinion. The only way is up. However, we need to have a macro, or we need to have somewhat of a confirmation play according to an exact setup process that we follow. I mean, you might have a different approach, or you might have a different execution strategy, but we have a very specific setup that we're waiting for. These setups are happening every day across multiple different assets, but timing is super important. Vamsi says, if you don't know where volume is, SMC, ICT, or won't help. LTA shows where big players are, not what retailers follow. Time to change mindset and learn LTA concepts. Thanks to Lorenzo, Sir, and team. I appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that. Saxophones are freaking expensive. Saxophones are expensive. I had a saxophone. So this saxophone is $5,000. This is a beginner, aka student saxophone. Believe it or not. Okay? It's an intermediate student introduction saxophone. Like the real G's out there have like $20K, $25,000 saxophones. It's unfreaking believable. Lorenzo, why do you live trade? The reason why I live trade is because no one else does. No one else does. All right, there are only a couple guys that I know that are trading live consistently. And I have a lot of respect for these guys by default. I talk about other streamers, blah, 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 you know, taking profit after, you know, 5 pips, etc. Obviously, that doesn't count for everyone, right? Clearly, like some of these guys are legit. A lot of guys are unable to execute live on the stream. Yeah, because it's just the real shit and it has a lot of influence. Like if you have a lot of people watching you, obviously, it's gonna have an impact on your trading. That's just the reality. And you need to learn how to deal with that. Some people can do that, some people can't. Most people can, actually. That's just the reality. But the reasoning why I decided to go live is just because obviously we upgraded our book. I wrote a new book, took a whole year off to write a book to talk about the LTA concepts, the trading war map. It's 300 pages. It's free for you to download. And obviously you want to see this in real time. You want to see this live in action here. So if I would truly believe in a system, right? Then why not just showing it live right now with you? This is what we have been doing. Last week we ended in profit. This week so far we're up in profit. It's a good start. But let's see what happens in Q4. That's what I'm looking for. The fourth quarter of this year. That's where my eyes on. More volume. More consistent volume. But anyways, we know exactly what for setup we're looking for. A break above the 36.55. That's what we're looking for here. Yesterday we did a 25k fun at next giveaway. That was also really interesting. We're back on the giveaways again here. We might do another one in a couple days from now. So yeah, next stream, maybe even next week, Tuesday. I think our next giveaway will be on a Tuesday. Let's do it. Bro, you never made more than $2,000 on a single trade. Well, actually, I think last week, yesterday, by the way, we made more than that. Last week, we took that live gold trade. Who remembers that first stream? The first comeback stream. I think that was a massive, a beautiful 2-to-1 setup. $1,000 risk across 5 different accounts. That's $5,000 risk. 4,000 of that is funded. So times 2, right? That's a little bit more than the than $2,000, my friend. Lorenzo, which future broker do you use? Broker? Real broker? Interactive brokers. Yes. If we're talking about a real futures broker, interactive brokers. If we're talking about a CFD broker, Vantage. Lorenzo, check out this video. This.
Here are the best trades I took in the competition and why I took them. So let's start from the beginning of the session, and we can see that before the starting of the session, it was almost 12 Central European time, we had some kind of balance here. The market was really trying to understand where to explode, and also on the upper part, the profile was really clear. We didn't have a clear direction here. We had the market trying to break out on the upside, to break out on the downside. And if you only use price action in this moment, you are pretty confused. You think that nothing interesting is happening, and you just think
order flow guy
that you need to wait. But volume was telling us something different. And I want to start today letting you understand the power of the cumulative volume delta and the concept of the
CVD. He's talking about CVD, cumulative volume delta, the amount of aggressive buyers versus aggressive sellers. We're waiting for a gold trade, by the way.
Volume spread analysis. So this is one of my most profitable trading session that I had in the quarterly World Cup of Robbins, and it's a super directional session, and I just capitalize on the market collapsing on Nasdaq, and I will let you understand why there is a big difference between watching only price and adding volume to your narratives. Let's start with the situation we are in from the price action perspective. We can see that the market is balanced at this time, and if we plot a profile for the current situation, we can just
boom, POC rejection. Most volume was traded at this price level. Price broke out initially internally. The thing is here internally though, if you look at this range, right? Look at this range right here. This is something that I would immediately be looking at. This initial internal range. Do you see it? Do you see the setup right here? Do you see the consolidation here? The manipulation here? The expansion? The retracement? The continuation? Do you see the C? Do you see the M? Do you see the E? If this is in a higher time frame resistance, boom, man, bro. That's a big W right there.
See balance, and there is the fair value on the middle. There is no clear direction, but let's start with the first leading volume indicator, that is cumulative volume delta, to try to understand if in this moment we were building some kind of pressure. Let's start with the cumulative volume delta and let's compare the two. So the market was balanced at this time, but as you can see, the direct...
Boom, look at this. Market was balanced. I already know what he's going to say. Market was balanced. Range. So the range was showing a flattening range. However, the cumulative volume delta was showing, this is all order flow stuff, that there were more sellers, more aggressive sellers active. That means that there were more market execution sells active than market execution buys. However, the range stayed flat. So that's the hidden, that's one of these hidden signals that these order fly guys are using. The cumulative volume delta, it's where you see these divergences taking place. Divergences in that sense, very powerful. However, what we're seeing right here is our range, right? Our consolidation, our expansion, our retracement, our continuation, boom, the rejection. If this would align with a higher time frame supply zone, and this would be on gold, and the dollar will be in demand, we would have a AAA plus setup regardless. We would not even need the cumulative volume delta for us, because we know exactly what we're looking for, because we're utilizing what we call the correlations here. But it's still definitely interesting to know and learn about, for sure.
From the pressure of the market and cumulative volume delta is pretty huge, even before the breakout. So the market is clearly building pressure down. This is the delta of the volume. And we are in a condition of accumulation and distribution. In this specific case, this is a distribution. Now, I receive a lot of inquiry and questions. And Fabio, can you please clarify this? How can I diversify and understand if you are in a condition of accumulation and distribution? This is the way, because the volume is leading the price. So the volume is showing us that we were distributing and we were ready to explode short. But this is not enough. This is only the first.
By the way, this guy is 100% legit. Fabio, Italian guy, order flow guy, has been doing I believe has been following the Ramen Cup, etc. So we're listening to a guy that definitely knows what he's talking about.
First milestone for my trading model. So I will add the second confirmation that you can get from this. I will remove the cumulative volume delta. First moment that we had some kind of follow-up on volume and confirmation from price was exactly this candle. This was my first position because the market told me.
They broke out of the range, pretty much.
Fabio, we are going down, the volume pressure is down, and we have the price action that is following up. So I have the first position here. Now, for those who follow me and understand my strategy, my way of trading is keeping drawdown really low, building the profit for the day, and then risking again the profit. So what I'm seeking and what I'm searching for the session is explosion in market movement. And this is exactly what I want. This is the first confirmation that we are in a condition of out of balance. We were in distribution for all the session, and now we are starting to go down. This was my first position, exactly this one. And this was, if I'm not wrong, this was 30th of December. So we were on the final days of the competition. We were head-to-head with Nasri Khan. And the first position went to break even immediately. So the market exploded in my direction, and I
Sorry. What I was saying is that, in my opinion, fuck, I can't unsee this anymore. Okay, this to me is the perfect setup. This is where I would have been entering my position for sure. This is that perfect confirmation. This is what I would call the fixed very low rejection play right there. In that range, come down, come up. This is the entry. This is where the entry should have been, right there. Beautiful. Internal confirmation, fantastic breakdown. And yes, we could have held it until the lows of that range. So I would have probably exited my position the moment we would be breaking out of that range right here, or taking out these lows here. I would have put my stop loss right above this range high, right there, and my take profit right around there. So you would say a nice clean 2-to-1 restored ratio, I guess. But yeah, look at that follow through. Damn.
Put my stop loss to break even. The first stop loss was here. So the risk to reward was pretty huge on this position, because if we can consider that I closed this position, the first position was closed around here, it was almost 1 to 3, even more 1 to 5 risk to reward ratio. This is one of my way of managing position sizing, is when the market we are in a accumulation or distribution only using price action. And this is something that is
Hey, listen, I just came back from a year break, okay? Give me some time to adjust here, please. Give me some freaking time. Whatever.
It's not really convenient. So from this moment, I waited and I took some profit and I used half of this profit to risk again. And again, as you can see, is as clear as possible. You see again, the price action breaking down. You see again, big trades in the direction of the trend because we studied auction market theory and we know that this is a sell model day.
I notice on the lower time frame, I understand that this is part of the structure here. Okay. However, the market is fractal. These setups play out on the 1 minute, they play out on the 5 minute, they play out on the 15 minute, 30 minute, etc., etc. Range, breakout, retest, consolidation. If you would draw, and I can guarantee you, let me know if you guys agree with me. I can guarantee you that this will most likely be the POC right here in this range right there. LTA traders, you have done this thousands of times right now. Do you agree? Yes or no? That would have been 100% in the POC.
And we continue to sell, and this was another huge take profit because I used part of the profit in this position. So we already commented, like we already had a commentary of 5 different positions that were trailed as the market was moving. Another position, because I closed the session around 4, another position that I took was this position. And this is another model that I use. As you can see, the market is breaking down, okay? And I see that the big trades is holding, the price is trying to retrace.
Here, another one. You see this range? We expand. We pull back, we retrace. Where do we get into? We're tapping into, there's only one outcome here. The C, the E, the R, the C here, that whole drop right there. Yes, price did bounce. This probably had to do with some more higher time frame reaction, confirmation, or whatever the case may be. I can't see that. I don't understand the full context here, but you get the point.
The buyers are trying to take control of this market condition, but the results is almost zero. So to do this kind of analysis, I usually use the delta profile footprint. So we will now open the profile footprint and the cumulative volume delta, and we can just zoom in on what was happening at this moment. And as you can see, I was using volume spread analysis, so the
conclusion here is that you can use the footprint, you can use the order flow, you can confirm everything, you can even zoom into the heat map, you can look at the market, the depth of market. If you're really, into all of that shit right here, when you reach your point of control level. But the reality is, when you zoom out and you understand the macro, you zoom in, you get to the lower time frame, you get and understand structure, the correlations, the accuracy on your levels without understanding the order flow here. It's proven, it's significant.
Direction of the pressure of the volume. And
so overall, I respect what he does. He has been extremely verified. I like everything about his thought process, trying to really understand the true market dynamics. But yeah, this is a good example of how and where we would have potentially entered on the same, exact chart here. In this case, it's true. It's true. It's true. It's very true. Gold, dollar dropping, clearly breaking. Down here, euro invalidated. New Zealand dollar for sure invalidated. Dollar Swiss, nothing happening here. So gold is where it's at. And looking at the futures chart just to make sure that we're aligned with the spot chart here. We're trying to break higher. What is the name of that guy? His name is Fabio. Fabio. Actually, we follow each other on IG. I don't know his last name. Fabio. Valentini. Okay. Check him out. Check him out. Yeah. You can always learn about order flow. It's never wrong to understand the true market dynamics behind the charts. Obviously, it only can benefit you, but don't try to just don't think it's the secret magic secret sauce that's going to turn you magically into a profitable trader. Unfortunately, that is not how it works. Okay. However, it's definitely great learning. In the meantime, let me welcome two guys in the group here. We have Micro Fonts and William. Good to have you here, my friends. Heroes, welcome. Zaid, welcome. Look how we welcome you. What a warm welcome you're getting into the LTA Telegram here. Absolutely incredible. Okay. How can you join us in Telegram? Well, you can join us by two different ways. You can pay us a one-time fee of $400, or you deposit $350 on your brokerage account, which we obviously will benefit from on Vantage. Okay. We're using Vantage. Everyone is using Vantage. It's one of the best brokers out there anyways. You will be trading anyways. We want you to win anyways. I mean, if your assumption is that we think that we want you to lose, then yeah, then just don't join us in general. Okay. We want people to win. And, you know, we deserve a piece of that pie. So that's how it works. So two options. Join for free, practically, or you pay us a one-time fee. It's up to you to decide. Gold is still trading below that fixed very low. Again, in this case right here, what actually happened yesterday in terms of gold, we're still waiting for gold to break out for us to take a long setup right now. So I'm still going to give it at least 20 minutes to see what happens here. But yeah, the reality is, yesterday, of course, the dollar came. We had some major news at 10. So obviously this move here was all because of news. Kind of forget about that. It's kind of irrelevant. But the range, even now, and this is super important for you to understand, the range even now is still relevant. That range right now here is relevant. People think, oh, yeah, but price swept already the highs and lows, so that range doesn't matter anymore. That is a trap. Don't believe that. That's false, okay? These are the real market dynamics. I'm going to show you right now, okay? Any range stays relevant. Why? Because this contains historical price action. It doesn't matter if we swept the highs or we sweep the lows, okay? What matters is the amount of trades that were executed here and the relevancy of that. Why is it that if we draw the fixed range volume profile on this specific trading range, why is it that we will be now getting rejected from the fixed value area high perfectly at this current moment? No fair value gap. We're not tapping into a fair value gap here. We're not tapping into an order block here. No, it's this range that still has relevancy, okay? And this is why we're still using that range, regardless if it's swept the highs or swept the lows. I really do not care. I care about what happened right here and how can we benefit from that right there. Well, a clear buy signal for us would be a break above that. That will show clearly that buyers are in control. We have broken above that range and we can potentially start targeting the previous daily value highs. The reason why I would not short here is just purely because of the market dynamics from a macro standpoint. They're extremely bullish. When the dollar comes down or comes up, gold doesn't respond. And we're clearly trending here. I'm not trying to short into this trend that we're currently seeing. So it's either going to be a long setup for me or it's going to be nothing, okay? That's one layer, one way of looking at gold right now. And whenever people say you are at an all-time high, we're going to pull back. Well, clearly you haven't been around for a while, because when gold goes, guys, it can go. Trust me. After an accumulation period of, we're talking 140 days flat. Breakouts can be ridiculous, all right? Continuation plays, breakouts can be ridiculous. We saw something last year too. Look at that. We saw the same thing. When did we see the pullback? Right here after the first break. This was throughout the whole summer. Same thing as this year. Story repeats itself. We broke out. How long did this take us in order to pull back? 33 days after the breakout. We started to see a relatively small pullback. How long have we been breaking out right now? 12 days. Shorting at all-time high is not my piece of cake. And if we get invalidated, we get invalidated, and it is what it is, and we look further. It is also the previous daily value high. I agree. It is also the previous daily value high. You can see that right there. On gold, it's even clearer. This is the previous trading day range. Exactly. So on futures, it's the previous daily value high right there. Correct. Sometimes multiple levels come together. Lorenzo, is there anything I've learned over the past 2 years is that selling gold on an all-time high is basically gambling? Well, I agree in many ways. And the reason why I'm saying that is because, yeah, first of all, what happened here was news, right? So price broke and swept the highs right here, right? Then we, you know, quote unquote, came down here. So what a lot of traders would see now is they would see price pulling back here. And they think, oh, this is that chalk retest, the change of character confirmation. This is going to be that that gap fill right there. And we're going to sell off. So you bet a lot of sellers are going to be active here. And yeah, I want to bet against that. I want to bet against that. That's what I want to do. Especially with a weaker dollar. Oliver says, look at the rejection of the Sunday open on the Euro USD. Yes, we have been talking about this. Are we still getting rejected? It is actually very nice. I agree here. I agree. It's actually very nice. It's actually very nice. Yeah. I agree. I agree. It is holding up really well out of that range. It's turning the Sunday open in support. And there is a chance we're going to try to push up higher here. That's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. Yeah, I still prefer to long gold though. I still want to long gold if that's the case. In the meantime, where is that song? Is it this one? Shout out to you, my friend. Wout, welcome. Why not enter now? If you are so sure, we're gonna go in that direction. Wout, 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 Wout. Wout, 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 Wout. Wout. I know I sound confident when I'm speaking. I get it. However, my friend Wout, the reality is I do not know where the market is going to go next. I have zero control about the market direction. Zero. I can only wait for the confirmations. We can only wait for the confirmations that we take on stream. There is only one setup that I would execute, and that is that one setup we've been talking about over and over again. But if you believe that we're going to go up here as well, then go for it, my friend. Take a trade and let's get it. Let's get it. While we're waiting for the confirmations, if there's low volume, there's low volume. There's nothing we could do about it. We are here to, we are here to make money. Truly, we're here to make some money. We're not here to trade. We're here to take money here. This is how most of you guys lose money over time, which I can guarantee you. You want to take trades every single day. No matter the circumstances, you feel obligated to trade every single day because that's what you're seeing around. People taking trades all the time. So why shouldn't you take 57,000 trades a month? How is it possible that the best traders in the world, the best traders I know, trading 8, 9, 10, maybe 10 days a month, maximum? Maybe 10 days a month maximum. There is a reason. There is a reason why these guys do not trade the CPI. There is a reason why these guys do not trade the FOMC. There is a reason. less is more in many cases. Less is more here. If I look at my average data, so I'm not saying that I take still trades, right? 15 trading days. But for example, in July, I had a lot more losing days. And I took a lot more breaks also, right? After, in between losing days. In June, I didn't trade the first week of the month. I actually didn't trade even the first 6 days of the month because I didn't like what I saw in the markets. I just didn't like it. I didn't like it. I didn't want to get involved. I couldn't find any setups that were clear. I could see the market just not giving me what I want to see from the market, so I decided not to trade. August, there were periods throughout the week where I said, no, today is just not a good trading day. That's it. We're literally talking. On average, 14 to 15 trading days a month. It's still a lot. And I actually think I could do less than that and make more money. I still believe that. I still think I could trade less and make more money. I could at least scrap a couple trading days from this dashboard and make more money. Today, different story. Today has just to do with volume. That's all it is. Right? Today has just to do with the market volume. The market volume is extremely low. We're waiting for CPI here. I'm going to give it like 10 minutes to see if we break out. But otherwise, I will tell you what I will do until maybe 11. After 11, I think the volume is really going to die down here. So I'm going to give it 10 minutes. But the setup will be the same. And that is that we created a range throughout the New York Open. We manipulated to the downside. We actually tapped into this smaller range right here. We held that range and we broke out. This is the internal range. If you go lower time frame, then that retest will be the entry long. That's the setup. There's nothing I can do about it. That's just the setup I would take right here. Okay. First stream that we took. The first trade that we took again when we started streaming again was right here in the first stream. We took something very similar to that. It was on gold. You see that? We took that same exact trade right here. That same trade we took right around there. We had that range. I'm not going to call names. We had that range. We broke down. We broke above it. Boom. We waited for the retest. We looked for the breakout. That was the trade last week right there on gold. It's a great example. Right there. Trade obviously played out. Till the T, right? Price broke out further towards the upside, reached our 2 to 1 right around there at the end. But this was the C, this was the M, this was the E. We're kind of seeing this happening right now on a smaller scale. So we're seeing this happening on the lower time frame right now, internally right here. All right, so the setup is still the same. It is still a CME play, but we're dealing with a little bit of a larger range from yesterday. And we need to break above that range and that critical key level as well. Funny enough, that level aligns perfectly with the internal structure. But that internal structure is perfectly aligning with the externals. Therefore, that trade setup becomes valid when we break out, pull back, hold support. So we can execute here. So 10 minutes, I think that's enough and we'll see from there. But that's the setup and there's nothing I can do about this. Andre says, yes, looking at the exact same thing in the trading floor. Shout out to you. My friend, Andre, the man, the myth, the legend himself. The Romanian G. So where would you place your stop loss? I would place my stop loss below this range right here. I mark out this range. I will place my stop loss right here. And you think, oh, why there? Why not here? I don't care about this. I don't care about the swing. I care about the opening range of New York session. I want to place my stop loss right below. And I prefer to retrace, enter around there, and then target, obviously, a 2-to-1, which is going to be the highest right there. So that should be, let's say we enter there, stop loss goes there. A 2-to-1 should be, roughly speaking, the previous daily highs. Seems to me like a valid setup. We need volume though. We need a breakout. We need volume. That's it. Why is everyone saying W? The reason why they're saying W is because they understand the strategy. They understand how effective and powerful it is. They have been utilizing it themselves. They have been trading with it themselves. They're just hyped because they know exactly what we're looking at and why we're looking at that setup and why we're looking at that confirmation. That is why they're saying W. They understand what we're looking at and why, the reasoning behind it. Yesterday was a little bit different. Yesterday we did have more volume. Yesterday we were dealing with some news. And yesterday was a clear rejection around this range right here. So it's a little bit of a different setup. I would say we have roughly around 3-4 different setups that we're looking at, which we're going to talk about a lot. But it's usually built out of two frameworks. Lorenzo, check out TJR. You shared it?
Yes! Okay, thank you. Let's see. Fuck, we're high-key making a bearish S&T off these highs here. Please, Nasdaq, go take out these highs before. Don't make the bearish S&T. Go take out the. Oh my God! Wow, yeah, we're sitting at a total of $153,775 on the day. Yes. Yes. Okay, thank you. Let's see.
$150K. Wow, look at that. Range, manipulation, breakout, retest, fixed very high.
Fuck, we're high-key making a bearish S&T off these highs here. Please, Nasdaq, go take out.
Nice one. TJR streams live. I don't think it's live. No, I don't think it's live. I don't think it's live. Is it live? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I think he records his screen every morning, but it is raw. It is uncut, and he posts this anyway. Win or lose, he posts it anyway. But I don't think it's live. If I'm correct. Man, look at that rejection again. Wow. Same level, man. Wow. Can't break the fixed very high. Can't break it. What a level, man. Wow. Can't break it. Okay, guys, I don't see this flip towards our breakout here. I don't think we're going to see a trade today. Not today. Yesterday, yes. Last week, multiple trades, yes. Today, nope. I think we're going to wait and sit it out for the CPI here. I just don't see this breaking towards the upside. I really don't. I really don't see it coming now within the next 30 minutes. I mean, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But, you know, the fixed very high is holding. And I'm not interested in shorting gold here. That's just the reality right now. Okay? Want to see the breakout. Want to see that breakout. Want to see that breakdown. The dollar already is trying to find that support. Is the dollar going to create that manipulation, the pullback continuation here? We're going to find out. I think that's it for today. Okay? I'm going to update you on Telegram. In case we will see the breakout, in case we will enter the position, I will update you guys. For the Telegram members, I will update you here. I will mention it, put it in right here, make a quick video update right away, entry, etc. Everything right there. I think that's the only way. Trading floor wise, same thing, guys. I will see you in the trading floor in case something happens. But for the rest, we have been patient today, and yeah, we're up for the week. We're up in profits for the week anyways. Tomorrow's CPI. So, yo. I think you learned something anyways today here. I for sure believe you learned something here. Okay. We're cold, calm, calculated. LTA traders are organized. They're professional. They're hungry. They're ambitious. They're calm. They're confident. And they understand the exact system that they're trading. Okay. That's it. I'm going to see you tomorrow with the CPI. We're going to be... I'm really looking forward to tomorrow, to be honest. I am really looking forward to tomorrow. Okay? Thank you anyways. Fantastic stuff. Good to see you guys. Loving the stream so far. Really enjoying it. Let's get to work. See you tomorrow. CPI. Ciao, ciao.